Hey, Shalom Akim. Hey, first and foremost, want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who grew well, the apostles. Okay. The salutation to the Most High's hopefully elect, the men out there on the highways and byways pushing his word of sincerity and truth. And shalom to the sisters out there who tune in, support, and subscribe to the message of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai wholeheartedly in these last days. Today we got a topic going into the confusion of faith. Suffer from the curses as well. And this derived from a question that we got on the comment board from a video that we did on last week entitled Heathen Boys Can't Get This Knowledge, okay, aka a confusion of faces. We was going into that. And I'll show it on the screen here. There was a comment placed by Secret Disciple, basically a question. It says, what the brother said at the 22:37 mark, I have a sincere question for that. Do Jakes that look like so-called white people still have white privilege? I mean, if you look at the so-called Irish and Sicilians and other white-looking Jakes and how they were treated in Babylon and in Europe, wouldn't you say that wouldn't you say that the curses following them too, just like the straight up so-called Negroes? Shalom. And then the priest Abaya replied back to him and let him know, okay, Lord we'll do a video on that, which is today. All right, so we're gonna play the clip where this was expounded on for a quick second.
The brothers that look like the other nations, hey, consider that, you know what I'm saying, as a glory, man, because Yahweh Shai, hey, even though he was like a so-called Negro, he was still getting called another nation. So for you brothers that's in the faith and you look like the other nations, consider that as glory, man. He went through the same thing.
And use it to your benefit, Hey, use his word, not abuse it, Hey, because sometimes you wish that you could have been in and maneuver in this world, and we can't do it, Like these are like physical chains that still attach to us, you know what I'm saying? So if you are confused in the face, you know what I'm saying, to why you have Hashem for waking up to being an Israelite, use this world, man. The curse is gonna follow you regardless because follow that spirit. And that was pretty much the answer to the question right there, but we're gonna expound on a little bit more, because we did clarify there that the curses follow you regardless, because it's not about who you are as an individual upon planet Earth or where you live individually. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that spirit that's within you, because if you're of that seed of that lineage that was granted the promises in the future, you are of that that spirit and lineage who were given the curses as well. But man still is upon earth, and Jacob is the supplanter, So it is still possible to better your situation in certain areas. Right. Hey, because you gotta understand that the world doesn't see spiritual things. The world look at each particular individual upon planet Earth as a black guy, as a white guy, as a Chinese guy, as a Japanese guy, as a South Korean, a North Korean, as an Arab, as an East Indian, as a Jamaican. That's how they categorize everybody upon planet Earth. So when we were talking about a confusion of faith, being able to maneuver in this world, let's say you have a Judite father and your mother's from Taiwan, and you speak the Taiwanese language, you have the Taiwanese features, you're able to maneuver in that particular environment as well, and the prophecies, so basically whatever situation that you're in, as we mentioned, Jacob was always the supplanter from the beginning, so we know how to get in and get out, and that's really the point. And through the spirit, we're gonna back it up with visuals and with precepts as well. You had some, bro? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get this article right here. A scholar from Harvard.edu had wrote this article back in 1997. All right. Let me share the screen so you can see it here. And it says, Dark-skinned blacks in the United States have lower socio-economic status, more punitive relationships with the criminal justice system, diminished prestige, and less likelihood of holding elective office compared with their lighter counterparts. This phenomenon, or colorism, both occurs within the African American community and is expressed by outsiders, and most blacks are aware of it. And that's why we brought it up. Hey, because this skin complexion is an instant a negative sign onto the well, basically for the onlooker. Okay. Nevertheless, blacks' perceptions of discrimination, belief that their fates are linked or attached to their race, almost never vary by skin color. We identify this disparity between treatment and political attitudes as the skin color paradox, and use it as a window into the politics of race in the United States over the past half century. All right, go ahead.
Hey, this is 1 Samuel 16:7. But Yahweh, Bashem al-Shai, said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance.
And that's the point. That's the whole point. So that's really the answer to the question, because man looketh upon the outward appearance. So by man looking upon that outward appearance, and you're able to maneuver in a particular environment to get that loan or to get approved for that, you know, or to get something free, you know, not bombing or freeloading around the world, you know what I'm saying? But man looks upon the outer appearance. Go ahead.
Hey, bro, in the Hebrew, the Strong's H5869 pronounced as ayan, and it states before the eyes.
Before the eyes.
So what is before the eyes? Your physical appearance, man.
That's right.
All right. But Yahweh Bashem al-Shai looketh on the heart.
And he looketh on the heart. And the most highest men upon planet Earth are of that same mind, man. Because we don't judge things for face value. We don't judge the book by its cover. But the world does. So that's your advantage and your upper hand by being in this truth. Now, I got a precept real quick. All right. It's going to link up to the one you just had here. Find it. Yeah, 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. It says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. You know?
Right. And that's the reason why you judge people based on their appearance, man. How tall he is, you know, the complexion of his skin, how wide he is, you know, so on and so forth. But a spiritual man is going to judge spiritual things, man. That's why we go by the spirit. All praises to Yahweh Bashem al-Shai, and we can say by the spirit, yo, he's an Israelite. He's not an Israelite. She's an Israelite. She's not an Israelite. So on and so forth.
And then you had some more?
Oh, well, the brother Yasha brought up a point. This is the brother Yasha Moth, and he states, and also a confusion of face usually has a heathen mother. So that means that brother believes in a doctrine that say his mother is spittle or worse, the devil. So that's a curse within itself. So basically, that brother, although, you know, he may have a lighter complexion of skin, so on and so forth, you know, and he looks like one of these heathen nations, those curses still follow him as well, man.
And he knows that his mother is either going to be a concubine or going to go into captivity, man. You know, just because she's of another nation, you know. Right. So that's one of the curses that follow, you know, saying that follow Israel as a whole, you know. And now another visual here, which further proves that. Boom, right here. It says no Irish, no blacks, no dogs. So what if you come in? What if you come in with a lighter complexion? They wouldn't know the difference. Your speech and your behavior, you know what I'm saying, may partially give you away or eventually give you away. But that's why the scriptures reference a man that is a few of words, you know, who always make his speech short. You're able to get in and be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, you know.
And that goes to show you that the elite know the offspring of where the Irish came from, man.
Exactly.
You know, why would they say no Irish, no blacks, no Jews, no dogs, man?
Right.
You know, they know something. Because at the end of the day, that brother right there, he looks like he's a so-called white boy. But he's a Jake, man. Right. You know?
And there's another one on here that said no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, and no Poles. So they were talking about the Polish as well.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our Israelite brothers that contain the confusion of faith out there in Europe, you know what I'm saying, that they suffer as well. They suffer in their own areas. Now you look at this right here. Conclusion equals state murder. The usual suspects. What do you see? Black faces, black bodies. So the dark-skinned Jakes are always alluded to having, you know what I'm saying, to always being murderers and rapists and serial killers and child molesters, when that's not the case. It's really more so the Edomites, the so-called white man.
That's right.
But that proves that we are the Israelites, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I'm gonna jump back into this article real quick. You had some more precept? Mm-hmm. All right. Now I'm gonna end it with this here. It says, what is really crucial behind the color point is class. The implication that light color goes with higher status and the Negroid appearance with lower status. Now, who wrote this? This isn't in the scriptures. Man wrote this. Mm-hmm. Because he looked upon the outer appearance, because he is a natural man. He is a natural man. And yes, the curses follow you wherever you go. But when you're amongst a simpleton, oh yeah, man, he don't know who I am, man. He don't know I'm an Israelite. Boom, there you go. You're already in already. He's the type of guy that's gonna help you with a business deal. He's that type of guy who's gonna befriend you. The scriptures also talk about making yourself with, you know what I'm saying, with the mammon of this world. You know, a lot of different situations arise to where you could be given a job. Somebody you know could be given a job, just on based on whom they perceive you to be.
And what's so beautiful about that is based on, you know, a concept of what Willie Lynch tried to do to put us against each other, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, because think about it, it states the light color goes Slovakia.
You got it.
It states that light color goes with higher status and the Negroid appearance with lower status. But what color was Yahushua? He was extremely dark brown, man. And if I could just make a point, this is off of Wikipedia, the William Lynch speech, and it states the letter purports to be a verbatim account of a short speech given by a slave owner in which he tells other slave masters that he has discovered the secret to controlling black slaves by setting them against one another, man.
Yep. And that's the reason why, you know what I'm saying, why Israel hate each other so much right now, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, because their economic status. You know, when 50 Cent was talking about nigga use a window shopper, he was talking to you and me. Mm-hmm. You know? Why? Because they hate on each other, man. Right. They want they're nothing but crabs in the bucket, and they weren't born that way. Because our spirits were born to love each other as a nation of people. Mm-hmm. You know? But we were taught a different way by our oppressor. All right. So we're gonna play this video here. Irish are the niggas of Europe by Reginald D. Hunter. All right.
You can't always make them come where you at. Like I was in Ireland and I had, done a gig and I was outside having a smoke, a couple of friends around. This drunk Irish dude, short, walks right past us, freezes, and walks right up to me and says, "Geez, you're a big mean looking cunt." And my friends started getting pissy, like, hey. And I was like, no, relax. It's all right. I speak Irish. What he is trying to say is that you look like an interesting person. Maybe we can be friends. So I said, how you doing, you drunk patty bastard? And he went, hey! He's my manager now. And you know, I was drinking with him later, and he said something to me that a lot of white Irish men have said to me since. Like, and they say it warmly, like, you know, like you should be charmed or something like by this. He says, "Hey, Reg, you know, Irish people are considered the niggers of Europe." No wonder it feels like home.
Still got witness, man.
I told my dad that shit, my father, 92 years old. I said, "Hey, Dad, you know Irish people are considered the niggers of Europe." And he said, "God damn it, white folks won't let black folks have nothing."
And that's a great point. Because he was a natural man looking on that appearance. Now his son, Reginald D. Hunter, realized, oh man, and we're the same. He speak nigger and I speak Irish because we're the same people. But when he told his dad the story, his dad, he looked at him as a white boy.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, quick precept too. Okay. All right. This is Baruch 1, and we'll start at verse 19. Since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our power.
We broke the law, statutes, and commandments, man. That's how we've been disobedient. And then it says, until this day, this time frame right now.
Good. And it says, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice.
Right. And how do you be negligent of not hearing Yahweh Shem HaShah's voice? By not adhering to what the prophets are saying.
Good. And it says, verse 20, wherefore the evils cleave unto us and the curse.
Right, right. So what are evils? You break that down, that turn down bad times, man.
Good. And you link up with that Deuteronomy 28:64, how he said he's gonna scatter us amongst all the people. Therefore, during the process of time, we're gonna start looking like the other nations.
Right. And just because you look like the other nations, that doesn't mean that the curses doesn't apply to you as well.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's a spiritual divine curse. Just like for brothers who are fortunate to leave out of America and go to visit another country, you can it's a certain feeling you have once you leave out of America. It's a divine feeling. You're like, man, it feels a lot more better. You still gonna be cleaving to those curses, but you feel a lot better than you were in America. So those same curses still gonna follow those so-called Irish and so-called Sicilians, cause they still Israelites at the end of the day. That's right, bro.
That's how I got a precept too, bro. Hey, this is Daniel 7:9-7. Salakia, O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and unto all of Israel that are near and that are far off through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee.
That's right. So that clarifies and proves further that all of Israel is suffering from the curses in every land that they were scattered to. But going back to the topic at hand, is that Jake was initially the supplanter, and when you're able to maneuver in this world, the scriptures say, "Be at peace with all men." The scriptures say, "Make thyself friend with mammon." You use this word, not abusing it. You gotta keep these different things in mind. All right.
The elder Kazak posted Revelation 7:9. It states, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man can number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
And
that's the confusion of faces, man. The Israelites that are scattered, which makes up the elect.
That's right. This Deuteronomy 20:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And that's Israel as an entire nation, as a whole nation, man. All right, because Yahweh Shem HaShah is a righteous judge, man. So he's just not going to judge one tribe like this and then the other tribes he's just going to let alone. No, the whole nation is under these curses, man.
Go see King Job, verse 37.
Okay.
It's going to be 16, right?
All right, verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
What's a city? In Hebrew word that's going into a town, man.
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field. Yahushua explained that the field is the whole world, man. In the book of Matthew.
It's from brother Ayash. It said, and thou, verse 37, thou should become an astonishment, a proverb and byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. And on that video we just saw, you know, that was basically a byword, you know.
Right.
And from the poster brother found by no blacks, no Irish, and no dogs. Those are bywords, you know, and that only cleaves to the 12 tribes of Israel.
El Kazak had a number 2. This is James 1:1. It states, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. You know, because of the curses, therefore we were scattered. And as a result of being scattered, we start looking like these other nations, man. Why? Because we mingle our seed with these women of these different nations, man.
Right.
You know, it's like,
not saying, because we're not living that time where everybody knows who your father is. So if you look up their confusion of face, the ultimate you already accepted, you know. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, especially, you know what I'm saying, here, let's say if you look like a Caucasian here in today's time, we're not back in the 60s and the 50s to where everybody knew who your dad was. You know, you're able to get by being an unknown person, so to speak.
Good. Got a quick one. Isaiah 22:18.
All right, boom. 22. I read it for you. Isaiah chapter 22, verse 18. He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house.
Good. You know, that's pretty much self-explanatory that the Most High is like a large ball. He tosses us to and fro. You know, that's why you see as a transatlantic slave trade, we were scattered everywhere, man. Like if you can get like a map, you know, of the transatlantic slave trade, you go to the images, like you see it just lines pointing everywhere. You know, as you know, we're gonna get it right now.
the way that ball goes up and down into our bodies were on that cargo slave ship, man.
Good. As you can see, just like a ball tossed to and fro, man. Our people, we were scattered everywhere.
Yeah, ping pong.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Therefore, we go, you know, during process of time, we start intermingling with the other nations, and we're gonna start looking like them.
That's right, bro. Because we're scattered throughout the entire earth, man. The 4 corners of the world, man. That's where our people are at, man. You know, that's the reason why, you know, the word has to go across the 4 corners of the earth, man, because he has to reach those Israelites too. And then there are going to be Israelites that are going to be condemned as well as the other nations, man.
God. Let's go back. All right. I'm going to read John chapter 7, verse 24. It says, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. You know, and that's what the world, the world judge according to the appearance of man. You know, they look upon it out appearance. It said, but judge righteous judgment. So that's what we do through the Spirit. You know, and I got an example right here. This was a girl by the name of Tori Keller. She's about 15 years old during the time of this post. It's back in like 2008, 2009. And when you look at it for face value, you're like, oh man, that's an Edomite, man. You know, but let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna say this too. Claimed.
Nothing is left to burn. Desire to be with you like it, baby. Vulnerability, emergency. I'll find you burning, honey, come set me free. Don't you know now is the perfect time to be you in the light, just to make it bright in the night with the love inside. I'll give you all that I got. I want to love you. Pretty young thing, you need to love it. That loving girl, and I'll make it there. Ooh, I want to love you. Pretty young thing, you need to love it. That loving girl, and I'll make it
She has that loud spirit, right? You know, I got two precepts. One is from the brother Yash Sirach 13 and 16. All flesh consorted according to a kind. Sirach according to kind. And a man will cleave to his like. So although you may see a so-called, you may see a so-called looking white girl, but she's hanging around nothing but Judite women or Benjamite women or Issacharite women, man. It's because her spirit is cleaving to an Israelite spirit. Why? Because she is an Israelite, man.
Good. God. All right. and the brother asked, was she Sicilian? Like, no, she's not Sicilian. Her dad is actually from Jamaica. All right. This is her father right here. Alwyn Kelly. Alwyn is Jamaican and Trinidadian and Puerto Rican. He married Laura Carlson on March 2nd, 1991. They have two children together, Tori, which you just saw, and Noah. Alwyn is a construction worker. His birthday is March 28th. Alwyn plays left-handed bass guitar and also sings. All right. And he says he's a construction worker, man. And that links right up with the nationality that they posted, you know. But you know what I'm saying, going back into Esau being a natural man, you know, they put Jamaican, Trinidadian, Puerto Rican. You know, he's only one of these, really.
Right.
You know, but truth be told, all of those are Israelites. You know, so he isn't an Edomite.
And look what she inherited from him. He plays left-handed bass guitar.
That's
and
right.
He sings.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
Hey, this is from Elder Kazak, John 11 and 51. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation, which is Israel, and not for that nation only, but then also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad because of the curses, man. That's why we have Israelites in that Gentile state of mind, man. That is a result of the curses being scattered abroad, man.
And this wasn't, you know, saying that was an example. And that was an example of being able to use this world, you know what I'm saying? Because she was able to use that word because everyone upon planet Earth thinks that she's an Edomite girl, man.
Right.
They're like, oh my God, a white girl with that beautiful voice. And that's all they see. Right. They don't see the man, the construction worker behind the scenes to where all this came from, man. Because they are natural people. Natural people. You know, we can't say that enough.
And for example, let's just say we go to the bank and we have an Israelite brother that has that, you know, that Edomite like flesh. Okay, he would get a loan quicker than I would.
Yep.
Just based on, you know, the outer appearance, man. But that doesn't mean he's not an Israelite.
Right.
You know, when he go home, he got a wife. She's probably giving him hell just like my wife would. You know.
You know. Facts. All right, we're gonna get let's see, what's that? Exodus 1. All right, 1:19. Boom. All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 19. And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, right? And are delivered ere the midwives coming unto them.
And that word lively, you look up that word in the free dictionary, says full of energy or alertness, vigorous or animated. And on down it says full of flavor or spice.
We are the salt of the earth.
In the Hebrew it says kaya, vigorous, lively, having the vigor of life, having that juice, having that salt, having that savor, having that swag, whatever you want to call it. That's what the Israelites possess.
They call New York the sauce.
Yeah, some more on that. It's on Exodus. Okay. All right, calm. Preach out. This is the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 28.
I got you. Romans 2 and 28. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh.
Exactly. You know, so it doesn't. And we had men in the past who were looking the part, playing the part, so to speak, when it came to this truth and to this knowledge. But it wasn't based upon that. You know, it wasn't based upon how they looked, how big their beard was, or how they kept the law, this, that, and the third. But it was based upon the inward parts of man, because the inward parts is what the Most High judged and what He ultimately saw. All right, verse 29.
Verse 29. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about.
And circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of the Most High.
Exactly, man.
Can't get around that, man.
Can't get around that. Hey, Jacob was a supplanter, bro. Hey, Jacob supplanted his own father, man.
John. And just to prove the point, Elder Kazak stated, I work with an Irish Jake. His woman put him on child support.
Hey.
There you go.
See, hey. You know, let's see. Deuteronomy, we already got 37.
Yeah, we did that one.
All right, boom. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse.
Now remember, in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, who was Moses addressing? Israelites as an entire nation. This is before the split, man. Go ahead, bro.
Which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy power hath driven thee.
Right. Go ahead.
And shalt return unto the glory thy power, unto the Lord thy power, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity.
Meaning will be redeemed, man. Go ahead.
And have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee.
And that's beginning with the captain of our salvation, Yahushua. But the point is, you know, though, that blessing and that curse, all of that fell upon us as an entire nation, man.
God. All right. And it says that Romans 8 and 16.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High.
And that spirit is something that you can't see. It's not anything tangible that you can feel and grab with your hand and place upon a shelf. That spirit that is within the Israelite, no matter where they are, no matter if they call it Sicilian, what they call them an eggplant, what they call them a nigger, what they call them a wetback or a spick, whatever the case may be, that spirit within that particular Israelite is what bears witness that we are the children of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Nothing to deal with that look or that complexion, but the world uses the look and the complexion of man to judge the matter. That's where you have the upper hand and the advantage to use your ability. First and foremost, you pray to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. May He grant you with the opportunity, whatever it is that you got your hand into, because the Scripture also talk about whatever thou put thy hand to do with all thy might. You know, you can't be a sluggard or slack when it comes to doing anything, man.
Yes,
no, I was just gonna say how the Spirit bear witness with our spirit. You know, it links up with those curses in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. And like you best believe those confusion of faces at the end of the day, even though they probably some of them don't know that they Israelites, they still catching those curses. They probably don't know why, why this is occurring or happening to them. But it's like that those cartoons, man. You see that black cloud over the top of them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like just raining down on them. They can't.
Oh, that peanuts.
Yeah, and they show them cartoons like when they're having a bad day, just like a black cloud.
Oh yeah,
that's basically what's going on with us, man, in the spirit.
Yep. Hey, cause brothers been out the country, brothers done took trips and got on planes, caught pure hell, done went broke, then got discriminated against, then got talked about in a different language. So it follows you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta you know what I'm saying? It's easy to explain after you done seen it. Like, oh shit, that's nothing. You catching pure hell. Like a literal storm cloud. And me and the other brother Kazak that's watching the video, we were down in Mexico and there was a literal cloud that followed us. And it soaked us everywhere we went, man. Like literally, But the Most High, hey, he see how bad you want it, man. Hey, because it's all according to his will, man. He just tests your spirit out, man.
And this is from Elder Kazak, Galatians 3:28. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Mashiach Yahushua.
We are all one in Mashiach Yahushua, man. We're not one in Jesus, man. And we all one in Yahushua. It's the true name of the Heavenly Father, Son. It's only begotten. All right. We're gonna get Did you want to get that lamentation?
Yeah, we can.
All right, I will get this lamentation. We can be done. This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21 and 22. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
O daughter of Edom. So when you see the daughter of Edom, it's talking about Edom as an entire nation, not their women, because they would have had daughters, man. Go ahead.
That dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
What's the cup? The cup of slavery, man. Go ahead.
Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked.
Go ahead.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
O daughter of Zion. So that means the entire nation of Israel as a whole, man. And it states the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, meaning that, hey, those curses that fell upon us, we have served our time underneath those curses, man. All right. So the curses do follow us no matter where we at, no matter how we look, man. Hey, the curses follows, man.
God. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
And it's going to be a translation, man, a trade in places, man. Esau is going to go at the bottom, and Jacob's going to go at the top.
Yeah, that transition.
Yeah.
Period. Got one.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Right. So those curses are actually going to be uplifted off of us, and they're going to be transferred to Esau, man, and the rest of these nations, man. Or beginning with the daughter of Edom, man.
And these heathens, and especially the Edomites, the so-called white people, you're going to be the undesired in the kingdom of heaven, man. Our kids are going to turn our noses up at you, man. They're going to stick animals on you. They're going to beat you. They're going to do every cruel act that you thought you could do, that you did unto us in righteousness, All right? Because that time is coming, man. These curses are going to be uplifted from our people and going to be transitioned onto you, man. All right? So, you know what I'm saying? Without further ado, without prolonging it, rather, most I will, the point was made, the edification was there, so that brother had any last thing?
The curses do follow, man.
Bam. All right, so all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, double honor to the other apostle, great millstone, our teachers, the teachers and the leaders of Israel in these last days. Until next time, we say shalom.
Shalom.